How are you guys doing? It is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through yesterday's games, starting with Monday Night Football. And in that game, the Las Vegas Raiders were able to beat the New Orleans Saints 34-24 to get their second win of the season in Week 2. They are now 2-0 on the season, as the New Orleans Saints are now 1-1 with this loss. Taking you out to the game, starting with New Orleans, their GOAT-level quarterback, Drew Brees, would finish the game completing 26 of his 38 passes for 312 yards, throwing one touchdown and one pick. Alvin Kamara, their running back, would have 79 yards on 13 carries with 2 touchdowns on the ground. He also had 95 yards on 9 receptions through the air, finishing with 174 total yards and 2 touchdowns. For the Saints in total. And looking at on the defensive side of the ball, Marcus Williams would lead the team in tackles. David Onyemata would have a sack for the night, and he'd have a tackle and a half for a loss. Trey Hendrickson would also have a sack. Just a good all-around game for the New Orleans Saints. Jumping out to the Las Vegas Raiders, the team that won, their quarterback Derek Carr would finish completing 28 of his 38 pass attempts, throwing for 282 yards, throwing for 3 touchdowns and no picks. Their running back Josh Jacobs would finish with 88 yards on 27 carries on the ground and 17 yards and 3 receptions through the air, giving him a grand total of 105 total yards on the day. And then Darren Waller would be their leading receiver, as the tight end finished with 103 yards on 12 receptions and a touchdown. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, Damon Arnett and Nicholas Morrow would lead the team with 7 tackles on the day. And no, they'd have a really, really good game as a whole. And this game would kind of not really come down to the end, because the Raiders would win this very comfortably. The Saints would score. I mean, they'd take a 10-0 lead in the first quarter, and then the Vegas Raiders would tie it at 17 by the end of the first half. And then the Raiders were able to score 17 in the second half. The Saints just couldn't keep up this game. And like I said, with this win, the Raiders are now 2-0, and the New Orleans Saints are now 1-1. Taking a really quick look as to how the NFL standings are currently looking after Monday Night Football's games. Starting out in the NFC South with where the New Orleans Saints won. The New Orleans Saints are still tied with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the best record in the NFC South at 1-1. The Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers are sitting at the bottom with an 0-2 record. Jumping out to the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks are all undefeated, sitting at 2-0. And sitting in last in the NFC West are the 1-1 San Francisco 49ers. Jumping out to the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears are both 2-0. They both have the best record in the NFC North. And the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings both have the worst record in the NFC North with 0-2 records. In the NFC East, the Washington Football Team and the Dallas Cowboys are both 1-1, leading their division, and the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, sitting at 0-2, are tied for the worst record in their division. Jumping out to the AFC, starting out in the West, the defending NFL champs, defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, are tied with the Las Vegas Raiders, sitting at 2-0 in the AFC West. The Los Angeles Chargers have the second best record, or they're sitting at third, in their division with a 1-1 record, and the Denver Broncos are sitting in last with an 0-2 record. And the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans are sitting in first place with a 2-0 record. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts are tied for second with a 1-1 record, and the Houston Texans are now 0-2 with this most recent loss to the Baltimore Ravens. And the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers are both 2-0 with the best record in their division. The Cleveland Browns are third with a 1-1 record, and the Cincinnati Bengals are last in the division with an 0-2 record. Last but not least, taking it to the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills have a 2-0 record in their division. The New England Patriots are second at 1-1 with their Sunday Night Football loss to the Seattle Seahawks, and the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets are both tied at 0-2 for the worst record in their division. So that's how that's currently looking. I'm going to take you out to the NBA to show you what's going on in that bubble. There were no games yesterday, but tonight it'll be Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals between the top seed Los Angeles Lakers out west and the number 3 seed Denver Nuggets. The Lakers won the last game a couple of days ago off Anthony Davis's amazing clutch 3-pointer to win the game, and they're hoping to see if this momentum can give them a Game 3 win, so they can go up 3-0. It would be a much needed win that would help them go a very long way. But at the same time, for the Denver Nuggets, they're also looking to get their first win because they're still 4 wins away from clinching a spot in the NBA Finals. Jumping out to the WNBA, tonight it'll be game 2 of the WNBA semifinals between the Connecticut Sun and the Las Vegas Aces. The Connecticut Sun won the last game pretty comfortably, and I think winning this one will go a pretty long way. And following that one at 9 on ESPN2, it'll be game 1 of the Minnesota Lynx and the Seattle Storm, a well-anticipated series that a lot of people have been looking forward to. So with that going on, jumping really quickly to the NHL bubble, just to show you what's going on with everything that's going on with the Stanley Cup. And going back to last night, the Tampa Bay Lightning were able to beat the Dallas Stars 3-2 off of all 3 of their goals being scored in the first period. With this win, the series is now tied at 1. For Tampa Bay, their defenseman Victor Hedman would get the best play of the game because he finished with 2 assists, and same with Kucherov. The Dallas Stars would score a goal in the second and third period, but it just wasn't enough. And like I said, with this series now tied, the next game between the two will be played on Wednesday, which will be tomorrow at 8 o'clock on NBC Sports Network, as both teams are both both teams are now 3 games away from winning the Stanley Cup final, as now the series has turned into a best of 5. And jumping out to the MLB, going out to Washington, the defending World Series champs took on the Philadelphia Phillies at home, and behind Anibal Sanchez's third win, they were able to win 5-1 over the Phillies. Zach Wheeler would pick up his first loss of the season. He is now 4-1 after allowing 2 earned runs and 5.2 innings, striking out 7 batters. Looking at how the Phillies did as a team, no one on their team had more than 1 hit. Their elite designated hitter, Bryce Harper, finished 0-4 with 3 strikeouts on the day. Not an overall great game for the Phillies. And I mean, like, their only score of the game came off of a balk. So just moving forward. Moving to Washington, Anibal Sanchez pick up his third win. He's now 3-5 on the season. He would allow 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched, striking out 6 batters on the day. Their elite left fielder, Juan Soto, would go 0-2 as he scored and he walked twice. Their first baseman, Asdrubal Cabrera, would go 2-3 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. Their designated hitter, Brock Holt, would finish the day 2-4 as well. Just a great overall game for the Washington Nationals. With this win, they are now 21-32, and with this loss, the Phillies are now 27-27. Jumping out to Buffalo, the Toronto Blue Jays hosted the New York Yankees, and they were able to beat them 11-5. Yankees scored literally 3 of their 5 runs in the 9th, so the Toronto Blue Jays basically had control for most of this game. And it was mostly a bullpen game. But for the Yankees, their first pitcher, Michael King, he pitched less than 3 innings, but he finished with 6 strikeouts on the day. And just looking at how the team hit, the second baseman DJ LeMahieu would go 2-4 on the day. Their right fielder, Mike Tauchman, who subbed in for their elite Aaron Judge, would go 1-for-1 with 3 RBIs. Their elite right fielder, Aaron Judge, in his start would go 1-for-4 on the day. Their elite designated hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, would go 1-for-5 on the day. Their elite shortstop, Gleyber Torres, would go 0-for-2 with 2 runs as he walked twice as well. Their third baseman, DJ Urshela, Gio Urshela will go 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Looking at how the Blue Jays did, their shortstop Bo Bichette will go 2-for-5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Their center fielder Randall Grichuk will go 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 10th home run of the season. Their elite first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will go 3-for-3 with 3 RBIs as he hit 2 doubles and a triple on the day. And then their catcher Alejandro Kirk would go 4-for-4 with an RBI and 3 runs as he hit his first home run of the season for the Toronto Blue Jays. With this win, the Blue Jays are now 28-26, and with this loss, the New York Yankees are now 31-23 on this season as a team. Speaking of New York, jumping out to the Mets hosted and lost to the Tampa Bay Rays last night. Jacob deGrom will pick up his 2nd loss of the season. Jacob deGrom would pitch 7 innings where he'd allowed 2 earned runs, striking out 14 batters on the day, and Tampa Bay mainly won with it was a great bullpen game. Fairbanks got the start but wouldn't even pitch 2 innings in this game. For the New York Mets, their left fielder Jeff McNeil will go 2-for-4 with an RBI on the day. Their elite designated hitter Pete Alonso will go 0-for-4 as he struck out twice. Looking out to Tampa Bay and looking to see how they did, their First baseman Nate Lowe would go 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. He had his fourth home run off DeGrom. He had a great game against DeGrom. Same with their third baseman Joey Wendell, who went 2 for 4. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are 36-19, and their magic number is dropped to 2 in the American League East. And with this loss, the New York Mets are now 24-30, and Jacob DeGrom is 4-2 on the season, and it looks as though their playoff chances are kind of they're fading away. Speaking of the NL East, the Atlanta Braves, who lead the NL East, were able to beat the Miami Marlins yesterday 5-4. Just looking at to how that game went for both teams. For Miami, it would be Trevor Rogers who gets the start, who would pitch 4 innings and strike out 6 batters, allowing 5 earned runs. And then just looking at to how the Marlins hit as a team, their first baseman Jesus Aguilar will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Then their catcher Jorge Alfaro would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. Those would be the only players with more than one hit on the day. Looking at to how the Braves did, their elite center fielder Ronald Acuna Jr. would go 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Their elite first baseman Freddie Freeman would go 0 for 3 as he walked once. Their elite second baseman Ozzie Albies would go 2 for 4 as he finished with an RBI and a run as well. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 32-22 as the Miami Marlins drop to 28-26 with this loss, sitting with the second best record in the division. Really quickly, jumping out west to show you what's going on over there. Starting out in Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels hosted the Texas Rangers and were able to beat them 8-5 as Dylan Bundy picked up his 6th win of the season. Dylan Bundy would pitch 5 innings and he would allow 3 earned runs, striking out 3 batters. Looking out to Texas, their third baseman Isaiah Kiner-Falefa would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 3rd home run of the season in the first inning. Their left fielder Nick Solak would end up finishing 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. And going on to the Los Angeles Angels, their second baseman, David Fletcher, would end up going 2 for 5 with a run on the day. Their first baseman, Jared Walsh, would go 1 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a run. He had a grand slam in the 4th inning, big hit for him. Their elite third baseman Anthony Rendon will go 1 for 4 on the day as he struck out 3 times. Their GOAT level center fielder Mike Trout will go 1 for 4 as he struck out twice. And their catcher Max Stassi would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Los Angeles Angels are now 24-31 on the season, and with this loss, the Texas Rangers are now 19-35. Jumping out to Seattle, Marco Gonzalez will pick up his 7th win of the season as the Mariners beat the Astros 6-1, scoring all 6 of their runs in the 7th and 8th innings as they didn't even play a 9th inning as they were at home and they had already won. Lance McCullers Jr. would pick up the loss for the Astros. He would allow no earned runs, but he would be responsible for 4 runs scored. He struck out 7 batters in 6.2 innings pitched. Their elite second baseman Jose Altuve would go 2 for 3 on the day. Their elite third baseman Alex Bregman would go 0 for 4 on the day. Michael Brantley, their left fielder, would go 3 for 4. Their designated hitter Kyle Tucker would go 2 for 4. They had a lot of hits. They just didn't bring a lot of batters across the plate. Looking at how Seattle fared, their designated hitter Ty France would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman Evan White would go 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run. And with this win, the Seattle Mariners are now 24-30. Marco Gonzalez is 7-2 after pitching 8 innings, allowing no earned runs and striking out 6 batters. Like I said, the Mariners are 24-30, and with this loss, the Houston Astros are now 27-27. Jumping out to the Bay, the Colorado Rockies were able to get the best of the San Francisco Giants 7-2 as German Marquez was able to get his 3rd win of the season. Johnny Cueto would pick up his 2nd loss of the season as he allowed 7 earned runs in over 4 innings pitched, striking out 4. German Marquez would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched, striking out 3 total batters on the day. For the San Francisco Giants, their left fielder Alex Dickerson would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 9th home run of the season in the 7th inning. Their second baseman Donovan Solano would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. Jumping out to Colorado, their center fielder Kevin Pillar would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 6th home run of the season in the 3rd inning. And then just adding on to that, their first baseman Josh Fuentes would end up going 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Colorado Rockies are 24-29. The San Francisco Giants are 26-27. And finishing off with the Central, jumping out to Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians hosted the Chicago White Sox and were able to beat them 7-4. Aaron Savali would pick up his fourth win of the season as he allowed 4 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 6 batters. He's now 4-5 on the season. For Chicago, their left fielder Eloy Jimenez would go 3-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 14th home run of the season. And their second baseman Nick Madrigal will go 2-for-4 as well. Jumping to Cleveland, their elite shortstop Francisco Lindor would go 2-for-5 with a run on the day. Their second baseman Cesar Hernandez would go 2-for-3 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their third baseman Jose Ramirez would go 2-for-3 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He had his 16th home run of the season in the first inning. Their first baseman Carlos Santana would go 1-for-3 with 2 RBIs and a run. And then their left fielder Josh Naylor would go 3-for-4 with a run. With this win, the Cleveland Indians have broken the 30-point threshold, their 30-win threshold. They're now 30-24. With this loss, the Chicago White Sox are 34-20 on the season. Jumping out to Cincinnati, the Reds hosted the Milwaukee Brewers and were able to beat them 6-3 as Luis Castillo was able to get his 4th win of the season. Brandon Woodruff picked up his 5th loss of the season. Woodruff would pitch almost 6 innings. He pitched 5.2 innings, allowing 2 earned runs, striking out 9 batters on the day. Luis Castillo, with the win, he would pitch 6.2 innings, and he would allow 1 earned run and struck out 9 batters on the day. Looking at to how the Brewers did, their elite left fielder and former National League MVP Christian Yelich would go 1-for-2 with 2 walks on the day. Their right fielder Jace Peterson would go 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Looking out to how Cincinnati fared, their third baseman Eugenio Suarez would go 2-for-3 with 2 RBIs and a run as he had his 14th home run of the season. Their second baseman Mike Moustakas would go 2-for-3 with 3 RBIs and a run. He had his 6th home run of the season. And with this win, the Cincinnati Reds are 28-27, and with this loss, the Brewers are 26-27. Jumping out to Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who own the league's worst record, they hosted the Cubs, who lead that division, and the Cubs were able to blank the Pirates 5-0 as John Lester picked up his 3rd win of the season. John Lester in this win would allow no earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 1 batter. Brew Baker would make the start for Pittsburgh as he allowed 2 earned runs and struck out 9 batters on the day. And for Pittsburgh, their third baseman, Ke'Bryan Hayes, would finish 2-for-4. He was the only player with more than 1 hit. For the Chicago Cubs, their left fielder Kyle Schwarber would go 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. He had a pretty big game. He had a couple of doubles on the he had a couple of doubles on the night. And their elite third baseman Chris Bryant would go 0-for-1 before he got subbed out for Bodie. And their elite shortstop Javier Baez would go 1-for-4 with an RBI on the day. With this win, the Chicago Cubs are 32-22, and with this loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are 15-39 on the season. Last but not least, taking you out to Kansas City, the Kansas City Royals were able to beat their in-state rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals, 4-1 as they handed Adam Wainwright his 2nd loss of the season. Adam Wainwright would pitch 5.2 innings, allowing 3 earned runs and striking out 7 batters on the night. Kansas City was mostly a bullpen game, but they were able to pull out the win as Greg Holland was able to get the save for them. Looking out to the Cardinals, their elite first baseman Paul Goldschmidt would go 1-for-4 on the day. Their future Hall of Fame catcher Yadier Molina will go 2-for-4 on the day. Looking out to Kansas City, their right fielder Whit Merrifield will go 2-for-4 with a run on the day. Their third baseman Michael Franco will go 2-for-3 with 2 RBIs and a run. And then their first baseman Hunter Dozier would go 1-for-3 on the day. He had a pretty good game. With this win, the Kansas City Royals are 22-32, and with this loss, the St. Louis Cardinals are 26-25. Really quickly, just looking out to see what games to look forward to in the MLB, because of course, like I've been saying in the past, they've had. No, with playoffs coming up, there's just a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of weight on these upcoming games. But first, starting out with 305, Aaron Nola looks to get his 6th win with the Phillies as his arm has been incredibly hot. The Phillies and the Nationals have a doubleheader. First game at 3 o'clock, the second game at 6 o'clock. Continuing on, Garrett Cole's looking to get his 7th win for the New York Yankees as they take on the Toronto Blue Jays, who are being led by Tanner Roark tonight. Sonny Gray's looking to get his 6th win of the season as the Reds take on Brett Anderson and the Milwaukee Brewers as well. Blake Snell's looking to get his 5th win for the Rays. The Rays take on the Mets, led by Seth Lugo at 7-10. Jose Urena and Bryce Wilson are going to take the mound as the Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves face off. They're the 2 top teams in the NL East. And I know the Marlins are most definitely fighting for some playoff position, so that's going to be a big game. Just continuing on, Brady Singer's looking to get his fourth win with Kansas City as he takes on Austin Gomber in St. Louis. Zach Davies is looking to get his 8th win with San Diego as they take on Griffin Canning and the Los Angeles Angels at 9-10. Dustin May is looking to get his 2nd win for the Dodgers as he takes on Frankie Montas and the Oakland A's. And Kyle Freeland is going to take on Drew Smyly as the Rockies take on the Giants at 9:45. So with those games to look forward to, last but not least, I'm just going to take you through the MLB statistical leaders just to show you where a lot of these players stand, especially at this point of the season with so few games left. So first, I'm going to take you to the on the individual players' levels. First, just to show you who's scoring most. Right now, Fernando Tatis, the elite shortstop from the San Diego Padres, leads the league in runs. He has 47 runs in 54 games. And tied for second are Freddie Freeman, the elite first baseman from the Atlanta Braves, and Dansby Swanson, the shortstop from the Atlanta Braves, who both have 45 runs in 54 games. Looking out to hits leaders, Jose Abreu, currently from the first baseman for the Chicago White Sox, leads the league in hits. He has 73 hits in 54 games. Trey Turner, the shortstop for the Washington Nationals, is second. He has 71 hits in 53 games. And Freddie Freeman, the elite first baseman from the Atlanta Braves, has 66 hits in 54 games with the Atlanta Braves. Looking out to the doubles leaders so far on the season, right now it is currently Freddie Freeman, the elite first baseman from the Atlanta Braves, who leads the league in doubles. He has 20 doubles in 54 games. And tied for second, you have Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman for the Cleveland Indians, Dominic Smith, the first baseman from the New York Mets, and Christian Walker, the first baseman from the Arizona Diamondbacks, who all have 18 doubles on the season. Looking out to the triples leaders, Kyle Tucker, the left fielder from the Houston Astros, still leads the league in triples. He has 6 triples in 52 games. Trey Turner, from the shortstop from Washington, and Mike Yastrzemski, the center fielder from San Francisco, are both tied for second in the league with 4 triples on the season, and that's where they currently stand. Looking out to home run leaders as they currently sit, Luke Voit, the first baseman from the New York Yankees, currently leads the league in home runs with 21. And Jose Abreu, the first baseman from the Chicago White Sox, is second in the league in home runs with 18. But then there are going to be 7 players that are tied for third place right now in the league in home runs. So currently with 16, you have the elite right fielder from Los Angeles, Mookie Betts. You have Nelson Cruz, the designated hitter from the Minnesota Twins, Adam Duvall, the left fielder from the Atlanta Braves, Teoscar Hernandez, the right fielder for the Toronto Blue Jays, Manny Machado, the elite third baseman from the San Diego Padres, Jose Ramirez, the third baseman from the Cleveland Indians, and Mike Trout, the GOAT level center fielder from the Los Angeles Angels. They are all tied for third place in the MLB with 16 home runs on the season. Looking out to the RBI leaders, Jose Abreu currently leads the league in RBIs. He has 55 RBIs in 54 games. Second in the league is Luke Voit, who has the first baseman from the New York Yankees. He has 49 RBIs in 50 games. And then tied for third in the league in RBIs, you have Freddie Freeman, the elite first baseman from the Atlanta Braves, and Marcell Ozuna, the designated hitter from the Atlanta Braves. They both have 48 RBIs in 54 games. Looking out to the walk leaders, Carlos Santana, the first baseman from the Cleveland Indians, leads the league in walks with 44 walks. And then tied for second with 41 walks, you have the elite first baseman from the Atlanta Braves, Freddie Freeman, and you have the elite right fielder from the Philadelphia Phillies, Bryce Harper, who both have 41 walks on the season. Looking out to who struck out the most as a batter, Miguel Sano, the first baseman from the Minnesota Twins, has struck out 84 times in 49 games. Second in the league is Keston Hiura, the second baseman from Milwaukee, who has 77 strikeouts in 53 games. In third place, it's Joey Gallo, the right fielder from the Texas Rangers, who struck out 75 times in 51 games. Looking out to the stolen bases leaders on the season, so far, the current lead goes to Adalberto Mondesi, the shortstop from the Kansas City Royals, who has 20 stolen bases in 53 games. Trevor Story, the shortstop from the Colorado Rockies, is second in the league. He has 14 stolen bases. And tied for third is a 3-way tie. You have Manuel Margot, the center fielder from the Tampa Bay Rays, Dylan Moore, the left fielder from the Seattle Mariners, and Jonathan Villar, the second baseman from the Toronto Blue Jays, who all have 12 stolen bases on the season. And looking out to who's been caught stealing the most times, looking out to just who's leading out that. Adalberto Mondesi, who leads the league in stolen bases, leads the league in times caught stolen. He's been caught stealing 7 times, and tied for second, who's been with 5 times being caught stolen. You have Isaiah Kiner Falefa, the third baseman from the Texas Rangers, Nicky Lopez, the second baseman from the Kansas City Royals, Dylan Moore, the left fielder from the Seattle Mariners, and Jonathan Villar, the second baseman from the Toronto Blue Jays. Looking out to who's leading the league in batting average so far, DJ LeMahieu is holding on to the MLB's batting crown as of right now with a 365 batting average in 44 games. Second in the league is Tim Anderson, the shortstop from the Chicago White Sox, with a 355 batting average in 43 games. And in third place, it's Juan Soto, the elite left fielder from the Washington Nationals, who has a 348 batting average in 40 games. Looking out to the on-base percentage leaders, Juan Soto, the elite left fielder from the Washington Nationals, has a 477 OBP that leads all baseball. Freddie Freeman, the elite first baseman from the Atlanta Braves, has a 460 on-base percentage, which is second in all of baseball. And Paul Goldschmidt, the elite first baseman from the St. Louis Cardinals, has a 426 OBP, which is third in all of baseball. Looking at the slugging percentage, Juan Soto, the elite left fielder from the Washington Nationals, leads the league with a 674 slugging percentage. Jose Abreu, the first baseman from the Chicago White Sox, has a 644 slugging percentage. And Luke Voit, the first baseman from the New York Yankees, has a 640 slugging percentage on the season. Looking at who's leading the league in OPS, Juan Soto, the elite left fielder from the Washington Nationals, leads the league with an 1151 OPS. Second in the league is Freddie Freeman, the elite first baseman from the Atlanta Braves, with a 1084 OPS. And third in the league is Ronald Acuna Jr., the elite center fielder from the Atlanta Braves, with a 1040 OPS. Looking out to the individual pitching stats before I get to the teams. Right now, the ERA crown goes to Shane Bieber, who has a 174 ERA through 11 starts. Corbin Burns for the Milwaukee Brewers has a 177 ERA, which is good enough for second in the major leagues in 11 games played. And Trevor Bauer from the Cincinnati Reds is third in the league with a 180 ERA and 65 innings pitched. And looking at the complete games leaders, Trevor Bauer is now tied with Garrett Cole and Adam Wainwright, as all three of them now have 2 complete games on the season. Looking into complete game shutouts, Trevor Bauer is in the sole lead of that. He has 2 shutouts on the season. There are 11 other players that have gotten 1, but right now I'm going to jump on to saves. Right now, Brad Hand from the Cleveland Indians leads the league in saves with 14 of them. Liam Hendriks from the Oakland A's is second. He has 13 saves. And then tied for third are Alex Colomé of the Chicago White Sox and Ryan Presley of the Houston Astros. Brad Hand is 14 for 14. Liam Hendriks is 13 for 14. Alex Colomé is 12 for 13. And Ryan Presley is 12 for 15. So far, and looking at innings pitched, so far, Lance Lynn has pitched the most innings. He's pitched 78.1 innings. German Marquez has pitched 74.2 innings, and Kyle Hendricks has pitched 73.2 innings. For the top 3, Lance Lynn has a 2.53 ERA through his 78 innings. German Marquez has a 4.10 ERA through his 74 innings. And Kyle Hendricks has a 2.93 ERA through his 73.2 innings. In terms of hits allowed as a pitcher, so far, the most hits have been given up by Patrick Corbin. He's given up 75 hits. That's Patrick Corbin from the Washington Nationals. In second place, German Marquez from the Colorado Rockies has given up 73 hits in 74 innings. And in third place, Aaron Savali from the Cleveland Indians has given up 72 hits in 70 innings pitched. In terms of earned runs given up, the current leader for that is Kyle Gibson, or Matthew Boyd from the Detroit Tigers, who's given up 42 earned runs on the season in 54 innings. In second place is Kyle Gibson from the Texas Rangers, who's given up 40 runs in 61 innings. And Jordan Lyles from the Texas Rangers has given up 39 runs in 49 innings. Looking at who's given up the most home runs as a pitcher, the current leader for that is Matthew Boyd from the Detroit Tigers, who's tied with Tanner Roark of the Toronto Blue Jays and Trevor Williams of the Pittsburgh Pirates. They've all given up 14 home runs on the season. In terms of who's hit the most batters as an individual pitcher, looking to see who leads that leaderboard. Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants and Ryan Yarbrough of the Tampa Bay Rays have both hit 7 batters. And tied for third, Kyle Gibson of the Texas Rangers, Lance Lynn of the Texas Rangers, and Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies have all hit 6 batters. Looking at to who's walked the most batters as an individual pitcher, the current lead for that goes to Robbie Ray of the Toronto Blue Jays. He's walked 41 batters in 47 innings. Dylan Cease of the Chicago White Sox is second, who's walked 32 batters in 53 innings. And tied for third is Justin Dunn from the Seattle Mariners and Kyle Gibson of the Texas Rangers. They both walked 29 batters on the season. And looking to see who struck out the most batters, Shane Bieber holds on to the strikeouts lead with 112 strikeouts in 72 innings, which is incredibly insane, by the way. Jacob deGrom he's second with 94 strikeouts in 63 innings. And in third place is Dinelson Lamet from the San Diego Padres with 89 strikeouts and 65.1 innings pitched. Looking into who's leading in walks and hits per innings pitched. So far, Clayton Kershaw is the best whip in the MLB with a .75 whip. Kenta Maeda is second in the league with a .76 whip so far in the season, and Trevor Bauer is third with a .82 whip so far in the season. And looking at batting average against as a starting pitcher, Corbin Burns is the best batting average against as he has a 158 batting average against him as a pitcher. Trevor Bauer of the Cincinnati Reds is second with a 161 batting average against, and Dinelson Lamet from the San Diego Padres is third with a 166 batting average against him. Really quickly, I'm going to take you to the team stats really quickly just to finish off, just to show you where a lot of these teams stand so far in terms of who scored the most as a team. The Atlanta Braves have scored the most runs as an organization. They've scored 315 runs on the season. The Dodgers are second with 312, and the Padres are third with 300. So far, 3 teams have eclipsed 300 runs, and all of them have played the same amount of games. Looking at who leads the league in hits, the Atlanta Braves lead the league in hits with 501 hits, the only team to break 500 hits so far. The New York Mets are second with 499 hits, and the Chicago White Sox are third with 494 hits. Looking at who leads the league in doubles, so far the Atlanta Braves lead the league in doubles. They have 120 doubles on the season. The Boston Red Sox have 107, and the Tampa Bay Rays have 100 doubles so far in the season. Looking at who leads the league in triples, the Colorado Rockies lead the league in triples with 14 triples. The San Francisco Giants have 13 as a team, and they're second, and the Detroit Tigers are third with 12 triples as a team. Looking at to who leads the league in home runs, the Los Angeles Dodgers lead the league in home runs with 100 home runs. The Atlanta Braves are second with 93 home runs, and the New York Yankees are third with 91. Only one team has broken 100 home runs so far right now, and it's the Dodgers. Looking at who's driven in the most runs rather than who has the most RBIs, the Braves have driven in 308 runs as a team. The Dodgers have driven in 293, and they're second, and the Padres are third, and they've driven in 288 runs as a team. Looking as to who's walked the most as a team, the Tampa Bay Rays have walked a collective 227 times, the most in baseball. The Angels are second with 226 walks, and the Reds are tied with the Yankees for third with 233 walks on the season. Looking at who struck out the most, the Tampa Bay Rays have struck out the most as a baseball team. They struck out 553 times. The Chicago Cubs are second with 519 strikeouts, and tied for third are the Milwaukee Brewers and the Atlanta Braves, who have both 516 strikeouts on the season. Looking at who's leading the league in stolen bases, the Padres have the most stolen bases as a team. They've stolen 50 bases in 54 games as a team. The Miami Marlins are second with 49 stolen bases, and the Seattle Mariners are third with 46. Looking at who's been caught stealing the most times, the Kansas City Royals have been caught stealing 18 times, the most in all of baseball. The Mariners are second. They've been caught 15 times, and the Marlins are third, as they've been caught 14 times. Looking at who has the best batting average as a team, the New York Mets have a 273 batting average as a team. The Atlanta Braves are second with a 269 batting average, and the Chicago White Sox are third with a 267 batting average. Looking out to on-base percentage as a team, the New York Mets have a 351 collective on-base percentage. That's the best in baseball. The Atlanta Braves are second with a 348, and the Philadelphia Phillies are third with a 344 OBP as a team. All in the same division, by the way. Looking at the slugging percentage, the Atlanta Braves have the best slugging percentage in all of baseball with a 487. The Dodgers have the second best slugging percentage with a 472 slugging percentage, and tied with them are the San Diego Padres. And then leading in OPS as a team, So far, the best overall hitting team looks like it's Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves are the best OPS in baseball with an 835 OPS. The Los Angeles Dodgers are second with an 810 OPS, and the San Diego Padres are tied with them with an 810 OPS as well. Surprisingly, as of right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres are both holding on to a 337 OBP as a team and a 472 slugging percentage and an 810 OPS. That's really kind of rare. I think that's kind of incredibly ridiculous. But let me jump out to pitching before I end off here. It looks like the Los Angeles Dodgers have the best ERA as a team with a 3.06 ERA. The Cleveland Indians have the second best ERA in all of baseball with a 3.26, and the Minnesota Twins come in third with a 3.55 ERA. Looking at who's thrown the most complete games, the Cincinnati Reds have thrown 3 as a team. And there are only 5 teams that have thrown 2, there's only 5 teams. The Chicago Cubs, the New York Yankees, the Philadelphia Phillies, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Texas Rangers all have 2 complete games as a team. Looking at who's shut out the most teams, the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians have the most shutouts in all of baseball with 7, and the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers are tied for third with 6 shutouts on the season. Looking at who has the most saves on the season, the Tampa Bay Rays have 21 saves and 29 opportunities. That's most in baseball. The Cleveland Indians are second with 18 and 25. And then there's going to be a 6th place tie for third is the Houston Astros have 16 and 27. The Royals have 16 saves and 17 attempts. The Miami Marlins have 16 saves and 19 opportunities. The Minnesota Twins have 16 saves and 23 opportunities. The Oakland A's also have 16 saves and 19 opportunities with the Miami Marlins. And that's how that's looking out there. Looking out to the innings pitched, so far, the Los Angeles Dodgers have pitched the most innings. I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't have to get into that one, but really getting into who's allowed the most hits as a team, the Boston Red Sox have allowed 523 collective hits as a team. The Colorado Rockies are second, allowing 505, and the Philadelphia Phillies are third, allowing 504 as a team. Looking at who's allowed the most runs, the Boston Red Sox have given up 323 runs as a team. The Rockies have given up 308 as a team. They're second. And then the Los Angeles Angels have given up 296 runs. That's enough for third in all of baseball. Looking to who's given up the most home runs in baseball as a team. The Arizona Diamondbacks have given up 90 home runs as a team. That's enough for first in all of baseball. The Boston Red Sox have given up 89 home runs. That's enough for second. And the Detroit Tigers and Washington Nationals are tied for third. They've both given up 80 home runs as a team. Looking at who's hit the most batters as a team, the Colorado Rockies have hit 37 batters as a team in 53 games. The Seattle Mariners have hit 35 batters in 54 games, and the Milwaukee Brewers are third with 34 hit batters in 53 games. Looking at who's walked the most batters, the Toronto Blue Jays have walked 232 batters. That's the most in all of baseball. The Boston Red Sox are second with 228, and the Pirates are third, walking 224 total batters. And who struck out the most? The Cincinnati Reds have struck out the most batters. They struck out 558 batters as a team. The Cleveland Indians are second, striking out 552, and the Milwaukee Brewers are third, striking out 546. And looking at the teams with the best overall whip, the Los Angeles Dodgers have the best whip in all of baseball with a 106 walks or hit with 1.06 walks or hits per innings pitched. The Cleveland Indians are second with a 112 whip, and tied for third are the San Diego Padres and the Minnesota Twins, both sitting with 119 whips. And the best batting average against as a pitching staff are the Los Angeles Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. They both have 214 batting averages against them. In third place, the Cincinnati Reds with a 216. So with that said, that's how all the stats are looking, and that's what the sports world is looking like as of right now on Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. Thank you once again for listening to this 37-minute piece. Once again, I am James Sims. This is The Elite. Thank you once again for listening to my piece, and peace out.